Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, March 22nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also for those of you that trade Bitcoin, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. Real quick, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, KAVL. And big mover today on this one and has now formed a good solid pattern. So if you like to play patterns, then I would definitely say this is one worth keeping an eye on. So let's get this pattern first drawn into play here. So let's get the top part of the pattern, that resistance right there, and then bottom part of the pattern, that area right there. Change that to green to represent the support part of the pattern. And then maybe make just easier to see. Let's keep it all one color now. So we have our, that was a terrible line. Let's see if I can do better. We have our resistance, we have our support, we have the huge explosion up here, and this would be known as a bull flag pattern. So now just because something's bullish does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to go back upwards. But my point here is that, is it plausible? Is it valid to think that if the price can come up here and get the break up through that level, that that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? Even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, that is certainly a plausible conclusion. So if you like stocks down below $5, you like bull flag patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, ticker symbol RDDT. Reddit had its IPO today, so that's why when you look this way, there's just nothing over there because it literally just started trading today. But we do have enough information now to start to map out some key levels to watch moving forward. And the level that I think a lot of people have noticed and will be watching moving forward is right there around $46.50. And that's one of those areas where, again, self-fulfilling prophecies doesn't guarantee anything. But is it valid to think that if the price comes back down here, it could bounce like it did both there and then like it did right here? Yeah, sure, that is certainly a plausible scenario. So if it does go down there, the big question mark just simply becomes, is history going to repeat itself? Does it get another bounce in the upwards direction? So from a support standpoint, 46.50, definitely an interesting level. And then in terms of levels of resistance, I think the main level to watch moving forward can be right up here at the $54 mark. Yes, you have some secondary levels, right here and right there. But in my opinion, at least, if the price comes up here and gets a high volume break of that $54 mark, then of course, no guarantees. But I think it's reasonable to think that the price could at least make another go and another attempt to do battle with that level up there. Does it break? I have no idea there. But as far as, breaking this $54 mark with high volume, I think there's a good chance that the momentum could carry it up to do battle with that level. But all things considered, IPO is always exciting, and especially within the first several days. So if you like this sort of, set of circumstances, keep an eye on Reddit for Friday. Next one here, GOEV. We have ourselves another pattern, and with that talking topic of self-fulfilling prophecies, I think it's more than valid to think a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there. Very straightforward trend line. And then you have this lower part of the pattern right there. Change that to green, and then keep it one color again. We have our resistance. We have our support. We have the nice upwards move right here. Now, this one's a little bit different, not quite a bull flag. This would be called a bull pennant, so it'll make it a little bit more visual. If I put the golf ball down here for you golfers out there, this would be a bull pennant pattern. But everything else holds true, no guarantees. But if the price were to come up here and break up through that level, more than valid to think that that break could create additional buying pressure. So same general price range, down below $5, but maybe you like to play bull pennants over bull flags, then here you go with GOEV. Next one, YTEN. Big mover up today with a gap up, and then the price dropped down pretty significantly as it just kind of bled and bled and bled. But on that note, this is what makes it interesting, because right now the price has finally started to go sideways. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price has been dropping, and now started to go sideways does not mean for sure guaranteed the bottom is in and that this thing is for sure going to go upwards. My point here is it becomes a whole lot more plausible. Case in point, if the price was still just dropping, and I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be the bottom, you'd be totally justified to say, well, based on what? The price is literally still just going down. But in this situation, you do have some sideways action, so it makes it a little bit more sensical to think that right down here with that 39-cent mark being the key level of support, that maybe this is some sort of bottom that's forming. If it does try to bounce back up, the key level of resistance, in my mind, that stands out is that resistance trend line right there. So if this thing is going to try to, show up with another wave of momentum, I think the break of that level right there could be a good leading indicator that some momentum has arrived. But this one is a penny stock, so if you don't like penny stocks, probably won't be watching it. But if you do, then certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, AMC, and overall, rough movement here as the price is now broken down through that area of support, which I've talked about in past videos at $4.20. You can see even going back to earlier today, did a fantastic job of trying to hold, and it did hold, but then that break right there finally opened up the floodgates. So the first update comes on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if there is any sort of attempted, curl back upwards, then $4.20 will be that first key battleground. In terms of levels of support, the next level here that I would definitely consider very important is going to be, oh yeah, I guess I didn't even make it that small, but will be this level down here at, let me bring that down, at $4.15, and nothing fancy, no crazy logic behind that other than the fact of that's where the bleeding stopped back there on the 20th, and then that's where you can see the price didn't hit it exactly, but got very close. But you can see the price just currently kind of hovering right above that level. So if the price breaks down below 415, then that would be putting the price back down at lows that it's not seen for quite a while, as you're seeing here. So we'll see if this level can hold and maybe even produce a bounce. Real quick, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the page you can click on. So definitely get signed up. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event. So maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, or maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you completely missed it. Go ahead, send me an email to clay@claytrader.com, and I would be happy to send you a link to the replay. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one here, ticker symbol AAPL, Apple. Brutal news today with all the government trying to, get involved with things. So, which always makes me just scratch my head. I mean, government, you're literally causing citizens to, lose a whole bunch of money with movements like this. I mean, it's not just Wall Street people that own stocks. A lot of people own Apple in their retirements. And anyways, that's another talking topic, but let's get to it here. So main level of support that I'm very curious to see if it can hold moving forward is going to be this area right down here at 170.50. So let me change that to green. And just going through the history of the chart, you can see that, broadly speaking, held as support, held as support, held as support, and even right now the price is hovering right up above it. So that's going to be my big question mark, is can that area hold? If it cannot, then I don't think, again, you can't say it all for sure, but I don't see any reason why it wouldn't at that point, bare minimum, go down to right around that 168.50 mark, which would be the next key level of support. And then if the price can hold above there, then that would be putting the price down at lows that it hasn't seen for several weeks. So like I said, we'll see if 170.50 holds. If it does not, then I think 168.50, is as close to a guarantee as you can get. But again, there are no guarantees. If the price does try to bounce back upwards, key area of resistance to watch very closely, going to be that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. But as of right now, I'm a little bit more interested in just simply seeing where does the bleeding stop. Is it finally stopping down here at 170.50? We'll see what happens on Friday. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And we have a pretty big showdown here headed into Friday, because both these levels here are very well known. The first showdown is, can the price continue to hold that 50 period moving average? You can see right now, it hasn't been totally clean. The price did drop a little bit below it, but to give full credit's due, supports, resistance levels are not exact levels. There is a range element, and I have no problem saying that, yeah, as far as the range is concerned, that level is doing a good job of holding that support. So that's going to be the first question, is can this continue, or is this thing about to get continuation back to the downside? If it can hold and you get the bounce back upwards, that's where the next key dynamic comes into play, and that is in regards to that 200 period moving average up there, which you can see right there, didn't hit it exactly, but got, within the vicinity before rejecting the price back downwards, and that'll be the other highly anticipated level. So really, it's as straightforward as that. All eyes going to be watching and wondering about that 50 period moving average. Can it hold as support? If it does, can the price get up to that level? And if so, can it have enough strength to break up through it, which could very realistically cause even more momentum to come into the stock? So like I said, all eyes on those two moving averages for Friday, so we'll see what happens with Tesla. Next, AMTX, and overall, nice pattern here, and a interesting question that can be, at least I think. Yeah, there we go. So as I speak right now, you can see that the price has broken up through this. I'm just going to do this very crudely. So there you go, golf hole down there. So we have this, generally speaking, bull pennant pattern, but what I want to focus on, there There we go, zoom in here a little bit. But I want to focus on is right now you can see the price is essentially breaking to the upside, which leads to the always fun question, is this the start of something even bigger? Now think about that question. It makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile happens. But something worthwhile here is happening. It's breaking through that level, which doesn't guarantee that anything's going to happen, but at least makes sense to ask that question. Because to be fair, maybe nothing happens. Maybe it gets rejected right back down. On the flip side of things, because that is a two-sided coin. Well, I mean, maybe it is the start of something bigger, and this thing starts to rip and roar to the upside. So that's what it's all about right now. Doing battle with that trend line, and with the break of it, is this break the start of something even bigger? If you like these sorts of scenarios, I'd certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, MARA, and I'm going to go through this one very quickly because you've already heard me talk about this before. So we have a very well-defined trend line right there. We have that trend line right there. And then just because I cannot help myself, let's just keep it one color. So it just makes me feel better than ensure that everybody can see what I'm seeing here. So we have ourselves another bull flag pattern. So you've already heard me give that spiel about no, guarantees or anything like that, self-fulfilling prophecies. But this is a situation where I know the other ones were on stocks right around $5, but here's one that's up over $20, bull flag pattern. Next one, ticker symbol TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to rise, this one will also rise, which is why today, another good day. Although I will say this afternoon, some sellers showed up and there has been a pullback here. But first key update just comes about based on the foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So 6180 is going to be that near-term level of support. From more of an overarching standpoint, keep an eye on that purple line there, which you now know is that 50-period moving average. Keyword there being moving, so as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher and essentially acts as a trend line for you. So, I like to call moving averages trend lines for lazy people. If you don't feel like drawing a trend line, then let that moving average draw the trend line for you. So preferably speaking, if the chart can stay above 6180, that would be best case scenario. But from more of a bigger picture standpoint, watch that purple line as long as the price stays above there. That's what you want to see. And then as far as resistances, very, very straightforward. Literally just a question of, well, where did the party stop today? And that was right up there at 63.95. You can see once there, again. So yeah, for whatever reason, 63.95 has quite a few sellers up around that area. So if the price does try to return back upwards, that'll be the main battleground. So that'll be it for the top 10 stocks. But if you get Bitcoin traders, stick around here in just a moment. But if you stock traders out there, definitely go get signed up for that free webinar. It'll be, like I said, this evening, Thursday, March 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But if you can't make it for whatever reason, go ahead and send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I will send you a link to the replay. Now, one quick clarification here. We are no longer looking at the 30-minute time frame. We are looking at the 4-hour time frame. Given Bitcoin's open 24/7, I want to try to keep this, as relevant for as long as possible. And it is still definitely very relevant. The one thing that I'm going to do is just get rid of, because we can take the Tesla approach. Remember Tesla, we had those 2 moving averages that we thought, let's just watch those because that's where a lot of people are going to be watching. And we have that exact same thing here. Now, for those of you that watched the video yesterday, hopefully you remember me talking about that purple line up there, that 50-period moving average as a resistance. I mean, check this out. The power of charts. I'm going to turn that into a quick plug. Go get signed up for the free webinar. There is a time and place for charts. Absolutely. And look at this. Rejected. So, I mean, what a coincidence that the price just kept getting rejected right at that line, but not a coincidence. That's where the 50-period moving average was. But my point here is that moving forward, all eyes need to remain on that level as a key area of resistance. And then as far as areas of support, where I'm going to head, assuming you watch past videos, but you know that I've been talking about that purple line, or if I knew my colors, the pink line down there, which is the key level of support. You can see it's already bounced from there a couple times. In fact, right there, it didn't hit it exactly, but got within the vicinity before bouncing back upwards. So it's really as straightforward as that. That is the big question mark moving forward over the next, probably 24 to 48 hours is who's going to ultimately win this battle. Do the bulls win with a break to the upside? Do the bears win with a break to the downside? That is a big question mark. But all eyes, I think the most easy way to approach this is watch that 50-period moving average as resistance and the 200-period moving average as support. Again, as I invited the stock traders, I'm totally inviting you as a crypto and Bitcoin trader because everything in this class is totally relevant to you as a trader too. So go get signed up this evening, Thursday, March 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern time. But if you can't make it live, then again, clay@claytrader.com. Send me an email and I'll send you a link to the replay. And if you can make it, then hopefully I'll see you here in just a few hours. So appreciate your time. If you enjoy these live trade or the top 10 videos, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you here in just a few hours. If not, send me an email.